Saludos programas and welcome. We are here again live with you. It is the AEW Rampage Collision Cleanup Crew. I am El Buntador, numero dos, and here with me as always is Alice.
Hello.
And we are covering the Rampage show from July 19th and tonight's Collision show. In my unprofessional opinion, quite the flip flop, but we'll get to that. First, some quick housekeeping. If you do like, or if you're new here, we are the Bi-Conics Podcast. We are all over the social media. Please make sure you check us out over on social media. You can also check us out on Next Level at BC WrestlePod. We have merch. We have our new merch store. So if you get a chance, check that out. If you like, some of the swag that says the BC WrestlePod, and also we do have a Patreon. So if you do like what you see and you want to help us grow the BC WrestlePod, by all means, please join the Patreon. We have a bunch of cool things that you get being a member. But let's jump right into it. The July 19th. Rampage show. It was a very interesting show. We started the show right off with the Undisputed Kingdom of Matt Taven, Mike Bennett, and Roddy Strong against Orange Cassidy, Tomohiro Ishii, and Kyle O'Reilly. I thought this was a fun and great way to start the show. I mean, we know the type of work that Taven and Bennett bring to the ring. We also know the type of work that Orange Cassidy and Kyle O'Reilly bring to the ring. I feel with the conglomeration, adding Ishii as part of this whole conglomeration thing, they worked really well together. There was a lot of times when the three of them were doing back-to-back maneuvers on the Undisputed Kingdom, and I thought it was really entertaining. We also know the type of work that the Undisputed Kingdom brings to the mat. I mean, they are the tag team champions, and Roddy Strong. But it was a good way to start the show, and the conglomeration got the W.
Finally.
I know, right? After it just seems like forever that they've been getting just hounded by the Undisputed Kingdom. What did you think of the match?
I like this match. Like you said, I like the addition of Ishii, especially since it feels like the conglomeration is kind of going for like a little less serious feel. They're kind of going for a little bit of the comedy. So definitely having like a straight man is very important, I think, with the other people that we have here in this group. So that's just sort of, theatrically, right? But wrestling wise too, I think it really balances out the group. And I do hope that the conglomeration actually becomes a thing. It seems like they're not sure. It seems like the announcers aren't sure, but I do really like it and I want it to stay. And I was very happy to see that they got the win over the Undisputed Kingdom, because you will hear me say this multiple times, I am tired of them.
Indeed. So then after the match, a Don Callis emerges from the darkness, and all of a sudden Kyle Fletcher jumps Orange Cassidy and starts beating on Orange Cassidy. We believe that it's payback for what happened against Trent Beretta on last week's Rampage. And then Mark Briscoe comes out and he lays out Kyle Fletcher, and then Roddy Strong jumps back in the ring and lays out Mark Briscoe as a little taste for what's to come coming up at Ring of Honor's Death Before Dishonor, which is later this week. So after that, we had a spot with Saraya and Harley Cameron. Saraya is just saying that she wants to get to Wembley, so go to it, somehow, right? She doesn't care how many people she has to step on to get there. So we will see, Saraya. We will see. But this just bring us to our next match, if you want to call it that, which pitted Chris Jericho and Large William of the Learning Tree against the Outrunners. This was a squash match. Chris Jericho and Large William get the pin. I think that the big talking points on this is Chris Jericho pulling out his cell phone and texting during the match. Alice, what did you think about him doing that?
Did you want to move the slide?
Oh, whoop.
There we go. That's them. Yeah. So I thought that was really in poor taste. I think he was trying to build up Large William as like this really strong and undefeatable guy, and that he really like put his trust in him. But I really think it was disrespectful and rude to the Outrunners. I feel like this really took away from the entertainment that they were providing, because they're good wrestlers and they're good entertainers. And I was disappointed because I was so focused on like, what is Chris Jericho doing, that I missed a lot of that. And I feel like, maybe it's like he's starting to be distracted by something. Maybe he's trying to start another storyline, but it feels super disrespectful to your fellow wrestler who's trying to be entertaining, and you're literally standing there. You don't even take your belt off and you're on your phone. And like at the end, I'm pretty sure he was just like tapping like a dead screen. But honestly, rude and like I didn't like it at all. I didn't like the move.
Yeah, I understand that he's trying to build that he's really callous and like not caring type heat.
It doesn't fly. I don't buy it from him.
I wasn't digging it. Especially, Truth Magnum and Turbo Floyd, the Outrunners, like you said, they are very entertaining. They sold a lot of really good spots with Large William in the ring, like that one where they both drop kicked him and they like turned towards the crowd and they were like cheering each other on. And I think it was Turbo like did the thing where he like looked back and Large William was like looming over them and he started patting Truth on the shoulder. Like, that was really entertaining. And if we're gonna job out the Outrunners, and I have this whole other thought process about jobbers, but I'm not going to get into it now. But if we're going to be jobbing out the Outrunners, who we see on ROH, at least let them shine as jobbers. Because that's something that used to be a thing where even the jobbers, like their whole point was the whole point of a jobber is to lose. Okay, fine. But you let them lose and you let them get that spotlight when they lose.
Right.
If that makes any sense whatsoever.
Right.
But yeah, so the learning tree gets the spot on this, but his moment to bask in the glory of the win was cut short because Minoru Suzuki came out cutting his after match jaunt up the ramp. And Minoru Suzuki and Chris Jericho do have a match coming up this Wednesday. But tonight, or I should say on Rampage, Minoru Suzuki was going up against the Butcher. Very large size difference. The Butcher just dwarfed Suzuki. But Suzuki wins in for all intents and purposes, was a squash match. However, unlike most squash matches, this one worked. Seeing Murder Grandpa work on the Butcher, it was just it just he was methodical, and on the Butcher's part, he really sold a lot of what Suzuki was doing. So like in this for this match, for this squash match, it really worked. Alice, what'd you think?
I loved that Suzuki came out and sort of stepped on Jericho's celebration. I really did enjoy that. I thought this worked really well, and I think it's really interesting to have the squash match that didn't work well and then this one immediately after. Like, I feel like if you're comparing the two matches, which are both essentially squash matches, this one was far more successful overall than the one that you previously watched. So if I walked in and I didn't have any pre-existing opinions about Chris Jericho before this night, I would immediately be rooting for Minoru Suzuki for their fight, the FTW championship, because this was just better overall.
Yeah, definitely. So then moving on, Minoru Suzuki comes out with the win. We had a conglomeration spot of the entire conglomeration, which the word of the day is miscombobulation. So if anyone needs the word of the day, it is miscombobulation.
I thought this was kind of funny. This whole spot was kind of funny. I thought Kyle O'Reilly added to it. I thought, and I thought it was very funny because both Orange Cassidy and Kyle O'Reilly were having a hard time not breaking because Briscoe is so over the top, always on the 11, you know, like he was just so fantastic.
And then you had Ishii just standing there.
Yes. And Ishii is just like, nothing can break me.
Yeah, exactly.
And I love that. You know, you have to have like this, you know, the Stone Pitbull, right? Next to Briscoe, because that's what makes Briscoe work.
Yeah, exactly. So this brought us to our only women's match of the night, which is weird for Rampage, but whatever. Tony Khan, where we saw Chris Statlander wrestling Sydney Waddell in yet another squash match. Chris Statlander comes out with the win. Alice, how are you? What are your thoughts on this whole Dark Statlander thing we got going on?
I like Angry Statlander.
Yeah,
I like her a lot. I like Angry Statlander a lot.
Okay.
I like her better than Face Statlander.
Okay.
I'm really digging it. She encapsulates this bitchy aura, if you will, right?
Yeah, right,
like
right.
That, and it comes across so well for her. You know, I love it for her. More, good. Please.
Okay. All right, cool.
I like this.
Great. And so after this brought us to our main event, which saw the Lucha Bros, Rey Fénix and Penta Cero Miedo against Private Party. And I mean, this was a great main event. You know, we saw a lot of the spots that we were expecting with both the Lucha Bros and Private Party. They work really well together. You know, this isn't the first time Lucha Bros and Private Party have wrestled. So they know each other's shtick, if you will. But they made it work really well. And this to me is a prime example of giving us a matching that we've seen previously. However, changing it up enough so it's still fresh. You know, what do you think, Alice?
I liked this a lot. I like the Lucha Bros and I love Private Party. So I, like you said, I like their wrestling styles really mesh very well. So this made for a very entertaining main event. I was excited to see that the Lucha Bros got the pin. So that was nice. I am a little sad because I love Private Party and I want to see them win, but it's always exciting. It's always exciting to see luchadors get the wins on the main feed.
Yeah, that was something that did bum me out, though, was that yet again Private Party loses, and this is I feel like this is like the third or fourth
It
in a
is
row.
the third in a row.
Yeah.
For them, which is disappointing, I think. But hopefully we've got some good stuff coming for them down the pike because they're so good. I love them so much.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, they're really entertaining.
Yeah.
So that wraps up our the Rampage for July 19th, and this brings us to Collisions for tonight. The Collisions is
Collision.
That's right.
AEW. It's Saturday night, folks. All right. So I am Alice. I will be your guide through AEW Collision. All right. So we opened with Darby Allin versus the Beast Muertos. I loved this match. This match was so much fun. It's like I don't think it's match of the night, but it's like up there. I really liked this match. It was a wonderful opener. I loved how Darby Allin came in this really fuzzy pink hoodie. I love that he's using pink to accent his darkness and the skulls, because if you notice, he also has pink on his fingernails. The camera catches it sometimes. This was fantastic. I am a little annoyed at the announcers. I know we spoke about this a while ago. The last time the Beast Muertos was on the screen, they keep talking about his mask. Stop talking about the mask.
Stop it.
Stop it. Like every time. Oh, I can't believe. Oh, look, he's having trouble. Stop it.
Yeah.
The man has been a luchador for 18 years. Okay. And it's like forgetting that, right? The mask is part of the person if they are the luchador. That is a beast. And he did, I believed it, right? With the moves and all the stuff that he was doing. Like, he is the Beast Muertos. Fantastic showing by both wrestlers. Also, I had a little favorite moment because I do believe what happened was the two of them were out and the ref was out of the ring, and the ref was doing a 10 count to get someone back in the ring. Darby rolled into the ring, flipped off the ref, and then rolled back out. I thought that was very funny.
Nice.
So, did you have any comments? I know you didn't see much of this match. But.
Yeah, unfortunately, I didn't get to see much because I was putting our 5-year-old to bed. I think it bothers me about the mask thing, and we talked about it, so I won't bash into the ground. But you hit the nail on the head, especially with someone that comes from a lucha background. That mask is them. So, stop commenting about it. It's a prop, and start treating it as part of the person. And that's it.
Yeah. So for this match, Darby did get the win, and we had a short mic spot for him after that, where he was talking about blood and guts. He's very excited for next week, and he is coming for Jack Perry and that TNT championship. Go for it, Darby!
Yes,
please. So right after that, we then had another spot from the Acclaimed and Daddy Ass. They were, again, leading up to Blood and Guts, and we heard from a lot of Team AEW this day. I personally am super rooting for Team AEW on Blood and Guts because they put all the people I like on one team, and then they put everybody else on the other team. So
and I don't think there's anyone on the EVP side that you like at all.
No, not a single person on the Team Elite. I don't like any of them. I'm like, please, Team AEW, just smoosh them. But we'll find out.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So this brings us to the next match, which was Hikaru Shida versus Sky Blue. Sky came back out in her black gear last week when we saw her. She was wearing her white
gear.
So I thought that was interesting. So I thought that was of note. Unfortunately, this match was cut short. It was very good for what we saw, but unfortunately, it does appear that Sky Blue took a fall, landed wrong, and injured her ankle. So we hope she heals quickly and is able to return to the ring. But Hikaru was given the win as Sky Blue was unable to continue.
Yep, and it actually is an official injury that happened while the match was going on. It was confirmed by both Tony Khan and other news outlets that Sky Blue did injure her ankle. At the time that I checked, or at the time of airing of Collision, the doctors were still checking out her ankle. But we here at Bi-Conics Sky Blue, we love you. Heal fast.
Yeah, I'm hoping it is a minor injury and that she's able to come back to action soon. Yep. As we love her. Okay, and then after that, we're not sure if these things were planned or if they came in because the match between Sky Blue versus Hikaru Shida was cut short. We got a spot with Lance Archer, which was just him beating a bunch of people up in the back, and the audio was terrible, and I had literally no idea what was going on, but yay.
Yeah. Like it was, again, it was a very, for the next 10 minutes or so, it just felt like everything was super confusing, and like whoever was directing the show, kicked the door of the locker room open and was like, "Who's here? Lance, you do a thing."
Go throw these at people.
Right. But we had Lance Archer in his black outfit, which if you've been watching ROH, he's been wearing white because he's been teaming up with the Righteous. But he comes out and he's just tossing people around and throwing trash cans at people, and then he comes into the camera and he's like, "I'm gonna remind you all how dangerous I am. Everybody dies," which is his catchphrase. Yeah. But yeah, the audio was super jacked up and all that. So it was, but it was one of those stereotypical AEW spots that made no sense whatsoever.
Yeah, no clue. Well, it took time, I guess.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Right after that, we got another spot with Chris Jericho. He's talking about his FTW match with Minoru Suzuki. He's basically calling him out, talking down to him about their match this upcoming Wednesday at Blood and Guts. I get angry every time I see Chris Jericho on the TV. This spot was fine, I guess. But please, Suzuki, just take the belt. Take the belt from Chris Jericho. And this whole, I think he's trying to go for a cognitive dissonance thing, because he's like, "Hi," and then he says all these terrible, mean things, and then he's like, "Bye," right? Because he's all being chipper and stuff, but saying all this negative stuff. It's not working for you. Please stop.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
Yeah, my issue is that it feels like anyone that is heel, or I should say, a good portion of people that are heel in AEW right now are trying to take this I'm a crazy psycho heel. Look at me, boogity boo, and it just it's a little too much, because we have Hangman Adam Page. He's doing the crazy eye thing.
Oh, yeah.
Large William in his match in Rampage, and whenever he sets off, he does a big crazy eye thing. We have Jericho's doing this crazy eye thing, and it's it's just not working. It goes along the same line as when Mariah May first came to AEW and aligned herself with Timeless Tony Storm and was doing the like super fan thing, there were other people in the women's division that were kind of doing the same type of storyline. So it felt like, too much of the same thing going on. So yeah, that's why this whole learning tree thing isn't working for me. But that's all I got. That's all.
Yeah, I agree. Learning tree is not working for me. Next. So the next match. So I guess this was a surprise match. It wasn't listed on the card. As I was watching, I did see it advertised in the corner. So we're not really sure if this was planned or if it was in response to Sky Blue's injury. But we do have a match between Rey Fénix and Tony Nese, the premier athlete. He came out with his whole entourage and his lawyer and was trying to pull heat. He was doing all the classic heel things, insulting the people in their hometown. I just don't buy it. I don't buy that he's an angry heel guy. Sorry. And then Rey Fénix came out, and I love him. Yay! This was an exciting match. I do like these matches where the wrestlers have differing wrestling types. I always find that, or styles rather. I do find that very entertaining. So I did really enjoy this match, especially we got to see, the premier athlete entourage like beating up on Rey Fénix, and he still, like the Phoenix, rose again anyway. Yeah. So, and he also got the win. So this is 2 nights in a row where we got the luchadors came in with the win, which was
that's right. And coming up,
comments, thoughts,
anything? Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, coming up on July 26th, which is this upcoming Friday on CMLL on the Viernes Espectacular, Rey Fénix, Penta, and Pac are going down to Mexico City, and they're going to wrestle themselves a little match, and I'm super excited. So seeing the Lucha Bros and seeing Rey pick up these wins prior to going down to Mexico, I'm like, I was amped when it was announced. I'm super amped to see them down there in Mexico City and CMLL. The premier athlete thing is not connecting with me.
Yeah,
I don't know why, but it's just not connecting with me, which is a shame too, because in the ring, Tony and Rey really worked well together. Tony needs, it was, the match was entertaining. There were a lot of great spots, not only like with Rey, doing the tightrope thing and like kicking the lawyer dude, but also like Tony Nese had some great spots. Like he delivered this one power bomb that was beautiful, and super happy that Rey got the win. But yeah, the whole premier athlete thing is not, I don't know why it's not clicking, but it also felt like it wasn't clicking with the crowd either. So, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I think we'll see what happens with that. I think they're still working it out. I feel like premier athletes came out of nowhere and then all of a sudden they're involved in stuff. But, maybe they're just kind of trying to find their footing, and we'll see different things from them moving forward.
Yeah, well, really quick, this is another example of they have been doing spots on ROH, the premier athletes. But like the amount of spots that they've done outweighs the amount of matches that they've wrestled. So, this is another example of ROH talent coming up to get jobbed out to AEW. Okay, fine. But, again, you're not doing a great job announcing their presence on ROH either. So like, if we're gonna push these guys as a heel faction, a jobber heel faction, whatever, you got to do some better advertising for them, So that's that.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Appreciate that. So next we had an FTR spot. We heard from them. They came out, and there was a lot. They talked about a lot. Holy cow, they talked about a lot. But the general idea was they're coming for the Young Bucks and they're coming for that tag team championship, and I am here for it. I love FTR. I am an FTR. What do you call yourself? A stan? Sure. I'll take that title also. Yep. I love them. I love them in the ring. I love it when they lose. I love it when they win. They're just so entertaining and they're so much fun. I love their theme music. I love their outfits. Yes, I love them. Yep. Okay, so I'm excited because I cannot stand the Young Bucks. I hope they go and they tear the championship from them. That would be great.
Yes, it would. Yeah, that's it. That's it.
That's it. Okay. All right. And then after that, we got a spot from Hikaru Shida. This again may have been as a result. She may have been calling out the DMD Britt Baker anyway, but she was talking about she kind of tied the whole thing together where she came for a fight. She didn't get a fight earlier this evening, so she was like, "I'm coming for you, Britt Baker, Dr. Baker at Blood and Guts."
Yeah.
And her delivery was so good.
Really good.
Yeah. I was like, oh my God, I can't wait to see that.
Yeah.
Very exciting. I thought the spot was great.
Yeah. Previous Hikaru Shida spots weren't my favorite, but I don't know if during her time, because I follow her on the socials, and I know that during her time off, she's been working with a theater group, and she wrote a play and produced it and put it up. So I don't know if in that time she has been working on her promo delivery, but this delivery was really good. I'm amped to see Hikaru Shida versus Britt Baker on Blood and Guts. So
yeah, seconded. Okay, let's do the next match. I'm so tired of seeing this man's face. So tired of him. Okay, we have this next match of Roderick Strong versus Tomohiro Ishii. Oh man, I really wanted Ishii to win this one so much. That's fine.
Yeah.
So Roddy Strong gets the win again. I said
but
this
through shenanigans.
Like I said this last week, I'm tired of seeing this man win. I don't know. I'm tired of looking at his face. I'm just tired. I don't know if it's the facial hair. I don't know what it is. But he's a good wrestler.
He is.
There's no lights on, nobody home. I'm tired of it.
Yeah, well, I mean, we talked about this before we went live, and when he's wrestling, he is great to watch. But then after that, he's like boring.
Yes.
Yeah, like Ishii, for as little characterization as he does, he's not like super bombastic or anything, but he has better characterization and is more entertaining to watch than Roddy Strong is, so yeah, like the no sells that Ishii did when Roddy was just like laying those forearms into him, it's just
so good.
Yeah. And he also sells that whole thing that he's just like, he is the Stone Pitbull. Like he's just like squat, and you gotta really
I bought that line. I bought it. Hook, line, and sinker. Like, he is so pitbull.
Yeah, so yeah, of course, through shenanigans, that's how Roddy ended up with the win, because his boys came out and Roddy, low blowed Ishii and, was able to get the pin that way. So, but, I will say this. Taven and Bennett need to be with Roddy at all times because they are the entertaining part of the Undisputed Kingdom.
Yes. Yes, they are. They are, in my opinion, carrying the Undisputed Kingdom.
Yes.
They're carrying it. I don't know. Roderick's just there.
Yep.
They're carrying it.
Yep. And we haven't seen Adam Cole in forever.
I was thinking that tonight. I'm like, where is Adam Cole?
Yeah.
If he's like supposed to be part of this whole Undisputed Kingdom, you think he would show up every once in a while.
Right?
So I don't know what's going on there. But I did want to bring up a point at the end because I thought this was important, especially because we've got this tension between the Undisputed Kingdom and the conglomeration. So at the end, Roderick Strong gets the pin. It felt like he was kind of being like set up and egged on by his, two Goonies, because they pull Ishii up and set him up to be like beat up. And it felt a little bit like Roderick was like, didn't really want to do that.
Yeah.
It felt a little bit like that. And then, of course, Kyle O'Reilly and Briscoe came out for the save. So they ran out this to save Ishii, and the Undisputed Kingdom dipped. They didn't, there was no like peacocking. There was no like, right. They just,
they were out.
They were like, we're out. That might be because they lost yesterday. Maybe they're really realizing that Kyle O'Reilly is not going to go to the Undisputed Kingdom. Yeah. We'll see. But yeah, so I just thought that was an important point because of that particular storyline. Next, I loved this match. This was so fun. We had Hologram's debut. Oh my goodness. This person's outfit, the way that they move, they were like liquid, right? Just such smooth movements, really cool, unique flips and usage of their body and like inertia. Really just so fantastic to watch. I thought this was great. What do you think?
Yes, I agree with you. He was
good.
You can tell that he has luchador training, that he probably is a luchador. I have to double check just because I know before his debut there was a lot of questions as to who he is or what name he had prior to becoming Hologram. We know that it's not Ricochet, so there you go. But I do want to give props to Loco Gringo, who was Hologram's who he wrestled against, because Loco Gringo did, also showed that he had some sort of lucha libre background, because he was able to mirror and do the things that Hologram needed to do those luchador moves.
Yes, I was going to say that. I don't think his debut match would have been as good if he wrestled someone else. So I think Loco Gringo was a wonderful person to pair him with.
Yep. And it wasn't a squash match, which was beautiful.
Yeah.
There was some good back and forth, some good tension, and Hologram did come up with the win, but it was a well-fought, well-earned win.
I agree. This was very nice. I liked this. Probably top 3 for me in Collision. So after the Hologram's debut, we had a spot with Dusty Rhodes and the Von Erichs. I don't really know. They talked about Texas. They're working together. going on. I don't know. Maybe we'll see more. I don't know.
Right. It's not like we haven't seen Dustin and the Von Erichs partnered together, because there was it last month?
He was acting like it was new, though. He was
right.
Like, now that we're together.
Yeah, but it wasn't that new, because it was last month or the month before on Rampage.
Yeah.
The Von Erichs teamed up with Dustin Rhodes. So I guess maybe we're going to be seeing more of them.
Okay.
Je ne sais.
Yeah. Okay. Then we moved to a Briscoe spot where he talked about the ROH Championship, where he and Roddy Strong will be facing off with each other at Death Before Dishonor, which will be this next Friday, July 26th, I believe. Is that correct?
I think so.
Okay. So, and then this man,
Yes.
Briscoe, is like the master of transitions, and they never make sense, but because he comes at you so fast, but you sometimes don't catch it. But he was saying, like, he's talking about Friday, and he's like, what's consistent about Friday? 2 days before it is Wednesday. And then he rolled into talking about blood and guts and how he's on Team AEW, and he's very, he's like, coming for it. Yeah, that man is just a whirlwind of words and transitions, and somehow he gets from point A to point B, and I will never question how or why.
Yep.
Just did. We made the journey together, and that's what's important.
and we enjoyed the journey. So
right, we enjoyed it. So there we go. So that was a fun spot from Briscoe. And then we had the lumberjack match. I think this was my match of the night. I think this was match of the night for me, with Thunder Rosa versus Deonna Purrazzo. What?
No, I said yep.
Oh yeah, okay. Thought you were
and then I did.
fun of me.
No, I also did the dance hall.
Yeah. So yeah, this was great fun. I had so much fun with this match. So the for people who don't know what a lumberjack match is, because I didn't until today, it means essentially there's a whole bunch of other people. It's like the women's division. They are around the outside of the ring. So if you get tossed out, they toss you back in. In this particular match, it did seem that there was one side that was rooting for Thunder Rosa and the other side was rooting for Deonna. And if Thunder Rosa got knocked out on the Deonna side, they beat her up. And if Deonna got knocked out on the Thunder side, they beat her up. There's also some infighting in between too. And there was this happened twice, where all the women were on the side and Thunder Rosa and Deonna Purrazzo right into all of them, and all like 10 or 11 or 15 of people just right, just like a dominoes of women just falling. This was so much fun. Deonna ended up with the win by shenanigans. Yet again, it does appear that she may not be able to actually beat Thunder Rosa of her own accord. I am digging this heel version. I spoke about hoping to like Deonna last week. Yeah, she's starting to rub off on me. I may need a couple more exposures, but this is a pretty good start.
Yeah. This match was a lot of fun to watch. It was a lot of fun not only to watch the match going on inside, but you had matches going on outside almost, like for example, you had Billy Starks and Red Velvet, who are going to be wrestling at Death Before Dishonor, the ROH show this upcoming week. They were outside. They started mixing it up. You had Rachel Ellering, when Deonna Purrazzo came out, she, gave Deonna Purrazzo a cheap shot before, tossing her back in. The shenanigans happened because Taya Valkyrie, while there was a bit of a scrum going on and everyone else had their attention over there.
Oh, I forgot her name.
Yeah, Taya Valkyrie handed Deanna one of the brackets that they used to tighten up the ring ropes, and Deanna was able to turn around and smacked Thunder with it, which of course knocked Thunder out. And then she, tossed it out the ring and got the 1, 2, 3
Got
pin.
the 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, I am. So the match before this, which I believe was at Double or Nothing. I think that was the match. Yeah. Deanna won because she grabbed the camera from the photo guy, and kind of the same thing. The ref wasn't paying attention, smacked Thunder, knocked Thunder out, and got the 1, 2, 3 pin.
With the camera, man.
Yeah. So even though the setup and the situation was different, the execution was still the same. It was entertaining. I'm good with it though. We're good. If we're gonna do a Thunder, Deanna, and these two can fight. We've seen them fight. We know they can fight. Let's either A, let them fight, a real fight, or B, let's if Deanna is going to do a underhanded tactic, let's try something else,
or have her get caught.
Because
I think that would be interesting, right? She's like, well, I've gotten away with this twice.
Right.
So let me try it again and then have the ref catch her.
Right. But yeah, the match itself, I had no complaints. It was a lot of fun. And it was a lot of fun seeing that the women's division out there, and just it looked like they were having fun too. So
yeah, I agree. I think everybody was having fun.
Yeah.
I think either like this match either went long or they added too much to make up for the match that was cut short at the beginning of the night, because by the time this show ended, they had like 10 minutes for the main event.
Yes.
Which was the Trios Championship with the Patriarchy versus the Bang Bang Gang. And I don't think 10 minutes was enough. It did go over a little bit. So this match was about 15 minutes. But
they did keep with it after Collision went off the air.
Correct.
They did stay with the match. They didn't cut the match, so we were able to see the entire match.
Correct.
Which was nice.
I was afraid that they were going to cut it, because it did go over. But I don't know. It didn't grab me at the beginning, and it wasn't exciting until like the very end. This match for me. I'm not really a fan of the Patriarchy. I cannot stand Christian Cage, but that means he's doing a good job, because he is the obnoxious, arrogant heel, and he's so interesting, and please keep him booked because he's such an interesting storyteller. I can't stand him, but I'm not supposed to be able to like him.
Yep.
And then the Bang Bang Gang, I don't particularly like. I love Juice, but he is the best part of that club. Mm-hmm. He's the best part of that club, hands down.
I mean, look at that picture.
Right?
Look at that face.
Look at that face. Right? I'm unhinged in a good way.
Right.
Because we were just talking about like the crazy eyes, but like
right,
in a bad
exactly.
way. But this is like,
he's not acting.
No, that's real. Yeah, so this was a good match. The Patriarchy did end up with the win, and at the end, an ominous flicker of lights. The House of Black, will they return? Ooh.
Yeah.
That was very exciting for me. But why don't you give us your thoughts on the match, El Buntador?
The beginning wasn't catching me. It wasn't until about midway through that I actually started really enjoying it. When Kill Switch got tagged in, that's actually when
he
I
was
was
like
oh,
an
okay.
actual dinosaur today. Like,
I know,
incredible.
Yes.
Really, in vocalizations and performance. Like, I really enjoyed him today.
Yeah, we have seen Nick Wayne wrestling on Dynamite and on some other shows. I don't feel like they are utilizing, and when I say they, I mean like AEW management is utilizing Nick Wayne as much as they should. But nevertheless, so we have seen him. Who we haven't really seen scrapping it up as of late has been Killswitch, Luchasaurus Killswitch. And it was nice to see him wrestle because he's good, like that top rope choke slam that he delivered to Juice was
good,
ridiculous.
I can't believe I named it correctly too. I was like, is he gonna do a choke slam from the top rope? Yes, he did.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. And then, you had the craziness going on where there was the fighting outside, and you had the Guns trying to keep Nick Wayne and Luchasaurus, Killswitch, trying to keep them out of the ring.
You and the announcers both. Juice. They couldn't keep it right either. They were like, Luchasaurus, wait, until recently known as
Luchasaurus. Yeah. They were trying to keep them out of the ring so that Juice and Christian could get it. I really, unlike when the Learning Tree does this, I love how Christian just hangs out and waits for Nick Wayne and Luchasaurus to do the thing, and then he just kind of like snakes himself in to try to get the pin.
Because he's calculating and he's paying attention.
Exactly.
Right? And I think that's the difference, right? Because Jericho was standing there. He's standing there like years. I immediately am out of it. But like I can tell Christian Cage is like watching and waiting to find a crack to manipulate, to get himself in some sort of advantageous position. And he did that too. Like the ref was over somewhere else talking to the small boy, and Juice was about to launch himself off of the ropes for another move, and he kicked him in the back and yanked him down by the hair, ruthless, right? But was waiting for that moment.
Yep. And then it was, great utilization of Mama Wayne, where in the end she sprayed something, be it mace, hairspray, whatever it was. She sprayed it in Juice's face, and that's,
setting spray, perhaps.
You're right. That's how Christian was able to get the 1, 2, 3, and the Patriarchy is your new trios. I wonder, because the match went over, and this isn't the first time where we have seen AEW producing issues causing the shows to go over, and then like they cut, and then other stuff that was supposed to be on screen happens, but not on screen. So I wonder if after it went off air, if we had a little bit more with the House of Black, because that ominous, like you said, that ominous flickering of the lights, Malachi Black did state that Arlington, Texas was the place that House of Black was going to begin their revenge. So, and if you are a House of Black fan, like we are, House of Black, they don't do the whole like face-to-face thing. No. They wait in the darkness, in the shadows, and they do their whole subterfuge, and that's when they get you. So
like I'm wondering, psychological manipulation.
Yes. So I'm wondering if there was actually supposed to be a spot where they come back and either it got cut or like after we go off the air, and if we go on Instagram, we'll see that the House of Black like jumped the patriarchy or something like that, you know.
Oh my God, I would not be mad. I would not be mad.
Right? Because technically they are still the number one contenders for the belts. So
oh my God, Buddy Matthews, come back.
Right. Right. So yeah. So that's it. That was it.
Yeah, that's it. That was our show.
Yeah.
Well, it was Collision.
It was, yep, that was the Collision show. So you know what? I'm gonna do this different. Let's what do you think about go ahead and give me your empanada rating for Rampage, and then your empanada rating for Collision.
Okay. So this Rampage was significantly better than last week's. Last week's I really thought was just not good at all. Yeah. This week, kind of the pendulum swung the other way. I'm not saying this is the best Rampage I've ever seen. Don't get it twisted. But it was right. Significantly better. So this Rampage, I think I'm going to give Rampage, are we a scale of 1 to 10? I feel like I ask every time. I'm going to give it a 7.
Okay.
I'm going to give it a solid 7. So, yeah. And
then Collision?
Oh, I was waiting for your Rampage, and then I was going to do Collision.
Oh, yeah, I can give my Rampage really quick. 6 out of 10. It was, and that's why at the beginning I said it was the tale of two shows, because the beginning match was great, the end match was great for me. The stuff in the middle, though, too many squash matches. It was just like squash match, and
that's why I gave it a 7, because last week was literally all it was squash matches, except for the final match. So this had less, and the ones that they had actually made sense and progressed the story forward. So I gave it a 7. But I respect your 6.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Okay, AEW Saturday's Collision. I really had fun this whole Collision. I think I'm going to give it an 8.
Yep. Okay.
I think I'm going to give this an 8 out of 10 for me.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. 8 out of 10. This was a very entertaining show. Not only were there like oohs and ahs of the matches, but there was comedy, there was drama, you know, there was the spots were, I'm giving it a pass just because of what happened with Sky Blue Hikaru Shida. So, they probably, like I said, they probably had to scramble to figure stuff out. But 8 out of 10. Even with that weirdness, 8 out of 10.
I agree.
All right. So that is our Collision, our cleanup crew review of AEW Rampage and Collision. So next week, Battle of the Belts is next week.
Yes.
Yeah.
Battle of the Belts, Death Before Dishonor, Blood and Guts. It's a busy week next week.
Yeah, so I'm not sure. We'll have to check, but we might not be back next week for the cleanup crew review, but we will definitely be back the week after. We have to check with the almighty
with El Jefe.
And the Dark Council to see.
Oh yes.
Whether they want us to live or not. So, but I am El Buntador the second. And my partner,
I'm just Alice.
And thank you for watching our review. And just remember that I'm Bi-Conic, she's Bi-Conic, you're Bi-Conic, we're all Bi-Conic. Stay safe out there, everybody. Have a good night. I'm getting there.